So last time in the last video I talked about The Amazing Spider-Man. Now I'm going to talk about the sequel that somehow they made it worse. What they had going with this Amazing Spider-Man, what they had going good for it, they kind of threw it out the window and lean more towards into trends from the original trilogy that people liked, with the one that Sam Raimi did with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. And they not only did that, they also somehow leaned in towards their weaknesses. Holy fuck. Yeah, so this isn't intentionally, seems like intentionally, when Spider-Man comes into the film after the time jump, it seems like it's intentionally, they're trying to make it an intentionally over-top bombastic adventure, which, you know, I kind of like it, but there's things holding it back for me to get into it, you know? Like, for example, before the time jump, we have to see his parents leave him again. It's pretty much shot directly until they get on the plane, and then he found out, holy crap, this bad guy's trying to kill them. And, the plane crash, did he survive? We don't know the plane crash, but we do know he killed Ben Parker. No, not Ben Parker. Peter's dad killed a guy in the working for Oscorp acts used to, but then they're on the run. So instead of taking their son on the run, they have to leave him behind. Well, will be on the run for the rest of his life, and decided they can't do that to him. Take him with us, and so because they're out on the lawn, this to do the right thing. It's like, you know. Okay, here's my problem with the film. Is mainly all this setup. Is really no payoff, actually. They might as well have a better shot making this more of a coherent movie, but more consistent with this a fun batshit over the top same mindfuck of a film that just wants to go all crazy with the action and stuff, which I would be fine with that if they just cut everything involving the parents in the opening scene, and just open up with Spider-Man swinging through Manhattan. In fact, that's actually how I thought the trailer was going to open up. The movie was going to open when I saw the trailer to this film. That's how the trailer was, so I assumed that was going to be the very first shot we see of the movie, but it's not. It was weird. Here's what's weird. When Spider-Man actually goes into the frame, it seems like that could have been the first opening shot of the movie. If they just edit out the everything involving the parents, and this, you know, we would just jump right into present day and him as swinging Spider-Man, doing his stick, doing his whipping, kicking ass, and seeing trouble and kicking ass and taking it, and stopping crime. And that's what we see as Spider-Man. And so after the shine jump, that's what we see. Then he actually, oh crap, he's like running right for his graduation. Samuel saw he's got to get time and got to see his make her speech, his girlfriend that he's now happily together with. And meanwhile, he's seeing ghosts from his past, like Gwen's father. He made that promise that he would leave Gwen out of his life, which the guilt takes a toll on him. And he breaks his connection with Gwen, even though he still sees her, spies on her, because he misses her. You know, he's kind of cuts her connection with her and everything. And so yeah, now this sounds like really good Spider-Man stuff. It does. It really does. But it's kind of fucking ruined. by that opening shot, and also was like, be honest, the Achilles heels as well. Andrew Garfield in this movie. It's like he was the best part of the first one. Now he's somehow the worst part of the second one in terms of performance. And the best part, I think, is the best part of this movie is honestly Jamie Foxx. He as Electro, and before and after he becomes Electro, and as Max Dillon. I mean, him, and also, I mean, he's pretty much scene still for this entire movie, but it's like, I don't know why, but it's I think I know what it is. It's how Peter is portrayed, even though he already has the spider powers. I mean, Spider-Man powers, the powers of the spider. In this one, you know how I mentioned in my last review, those who saw it, I mentioned how when he is acting like Spider-Man before he even gets to certain powers as Peter Parker in the first one with Andrew Garfield, the reverse, how he plays Peter Parker and how he plays Spider-Man is somehow the reverse outcome. As in this one, when he's in Spider-Man and out of the costume of Spider-Man and out of the costume, he plays it like just Peter Parker. The Peter Parker we see before he becomes Spider-Man, before he gets the powers and his responsibility and all that bullshit. And stuff, you know, it's just... In this, and you wonder, and when I say that, you know, once in this, like, I just don't know why they write him like that. So, I mean, here, they wrote him way too much like Maguire's Peter Parker. Also. Like, in majority was 9% of the film, and that's what he, you know how okay. Here's my perfect example. You know how Maguire acted more until Spider-Man 3 came along? You know how he acted more like Peter Parker from the comics before he got the powers in the costume for the first two Spider-Man movies until we got to Spider-Man 3? That's kind of what they do as Andrew Garfield. That's exactly what they did. It was more modernized, and it was technology and stuff. This really blows it out of the blows it for me. You know, that's what really blows it for me. That they did this going back to this part again. I mean, instead of having him like be wisecracking Spider-Man that shows off a bit from time to time, but it's a good heart. But it's like but at his heart he's a good person and means well. That's Spider-Man after becomes Spider-Man. We get the reverse. The reverse. Before he becomes Spider-Man, before he gets the powers, before he learns anything from the comics. So, basically, this is the first two Maguire Spider-Man rolled into one action-packed event. Joy, yay me, fuck. And I kid you not, somehow, he's actually worse than Maguire in this one. In the sequel. Because, you know how Maguire was was whiny a bit? In the first two ones, until we got to the third one, he was just, before we got to the third installment, he was just a little too whiny, and now, Andrew's worse. His whine's worse. He's more whiny than Maguire now in the sequel. It's like, oh my god, this is stupid. And how he actually plays the role of Peter in Spider-Man is similar to how Maguire plays it, like a Twilight reject from the Twilight movies. This is how he plays him. Oh, I'm so intense. See how intense I am. See how deep I am. Watch as I brood for some fucking reason that's never explained. Why I look constipated, like I'm trying to hold the shit at the same time, but I'm having trouble. So that's how we got this. So we're back to square one again. Instead of taking a leap forward in the right direction, we take a decade back. We take a 10 step backwards to the beginning of how Spider-Man should be treated. Great, nice job, filmmakers. You fucked it up. Yeah. So, he breaks his friend, stalks her, Harry's best friend, reunites with his best friend after years later being over decades of absent from his life. Finds Fozzie, so he just has to be with him. And they have this bonding like a couple old chaps. This is so nostalgic for a good time to have. But no, Harry's dying of the same illness called Goblin's disease. Oh, is this foreshadowing he's going to become the Green Goblin in the third act? Holy bad fuck, that's stupid. Foreshadowing, you know? It's a little on the nose there, guys. But okay. So Harry thinks Spider-Man's blood is curing him of his goblin disease so he doesn't die like his father. Because apparently it's genetic. His father could never fail to find a cure, so now he's dying. And quicker than his father did. His disease is aging, is getting worse than faster than his father had it. So his symptoms are coming out, developing quicker than his father's did, you know? So he asks Peter for help. He says no, because Spider-Man says no. Him as Spider-Man. But Peter doesn't tell Harry that Spider-Man and Peter are the same person. So he puts two and two together after he becomes a goblin on the glider. After he takes the serum that gives him the antidote, but also mutates him to the goblin. And put on the goblin costume. That, let's be honest, looks just like Willem Dafoe except without the stupid mask. From 2002 Spider-Man. I mean, it's amazing. They didn't try to, change the costume. It's better, but that's only because it doesn't have the stupid Power Rangers reject mask that the first one from 2002 had the one for war. But other than that, yeah, the costume is pretty much almost identical. In terms of function, in terms of design, and including the glider. Everything this looks a little more technology advanced, modernized. Fuck. What I don't get is why the filmmakers could put so much effort into making a more comic accurate looking suit for Spider-Man. And not even explain how he got the suit and when they fucking made it, why he got rid of the other suit that was, even though it was more grounded and you believe someone made it. This one, you don't believe anyone he made that shit unless you saw him make it, you know? The one he has in this movie, the suit that Andrew wears as Peter Parker in the Spider-Man costume, you know? Okay. So, they could do that, but they couldn't give us a comic book accurate Goblin costume that's less sillier than Spider-Man's costume in pretty much every version outside of the Sam Raimi trilogy and outside the Mark Webb franchise that we're in now with Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I want to kill somebody, but I don't know who I should kill for whoever came with this idea and seeing that was a good idea to do this, now give us a comic accurate costume look like the comics, or any of the comic with the Green Goblins that looked like the comics, but give us the Spider-Man costume that looks more similar to the comics. I want to murder you. Thinking that was a good idea to not give Goblin his costume, but Spider-Man, yeah, sure, he's the star. Even when Harry Osborn gives a better performance than Andrew Garfield as Harry Osborn. I forget what the guy's name is, the actor's name is, but that's, yeah, so. So, moving the fuck on. I think I ranted enough of my problem. So, where was I? Yeah, he wants blood. Peter says no, that's Spider-Man. Electro drops in the seals. Electric seals as Max Dillon becomes Electro. Wakes up in a morgue. And can't control his powers. Spider-Man tries to talk him into it. Tries to talk some sense into him, but then someone shoots a sniper on him. Thinks that Spider-Man made that call, and this mad Spider-Man then tries to kill him, and then that's blah blah, he comes running. I'm confused as if you're not confused. If you're not confused, well, I'm confused if you got that. See, I'll try to figure out how that makes sense as in story narrative. So, Spider-Man gets a drop on Electro, also known as Max Dillon. Does some digging on his background. Find out who he is. Find out what was Max doing in life, and where he worked. When he recognized him, who Max Dillon was, saying he was his eyes, remembering that he told him that, and yeah, so Max gets in prison. Harry frees Max from prison. And then he takes the formula that post-cure with mutates disease, jumps the Goblin guy in costume, and he meets up with Max while he's taking on Spider-Man and kicking his ass. And Spider-Man kills Max, probably. I say probably because that what he did was Max, like, basically, well, he's electricity. That shouldn't actually kill him. You can't really kill electricity, can you, now? I mean, this will get transferred from a different one area to another area. And he did that, and he didn't interfere when he was about to turn to pure energy. Like, pure electricity, you know? I mean, wouldn't that just, like, weaken him and not really kill him? But, okay, yeah, he's dead, so let's go with that until we come to Spider-Man No Way Home. When they bring him back. Somehow. okay. And somehow give him a completely different makeover than the one he had in this one. So, Peter has a showdown with Harry, and Gwen dies. Peter fails to save him, and Peter fails to save Gwen, and turn up snacks and trying to save her. Defeats Harry Osborn. He gets locked up, where Troll's being kept. Peter's grieving, comes out of the retirement as Spider-Man after for how many a certain amount of months, and saves the kid because he decides to have the kid as a death penalty suicide event, saying he wants to be he'll dress up as Spider-Man and fool the Rhino. There's only the real Spider-Man to come in. Wow! I kid you not. And he decides to reference Wizard of Oz for some reason, saying there's no place like home. There's no place like home. But he says it only once, briefly before the credits roll. And now it was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Fuck this movie. Fuck it. This gets a 0 out of 10. I'm really fucking pissed at this when we come to think of it. I was going to be more generous to this movie and give it a 3 out of 10, but no, this gets a 0 out of 10. Fuck this movie. Oh, and this season, the Sinister Six, hopefully, and maybe a return of Electro. When the Paul Giamatti on the Rhino costume is building up to that, but that got canceled, and so this franchise for good reasons. Thank God.